Welcome to my second installment video throughout the month of February talking about all things motorcycle camping. And in this video specifically, I'm going to talk about the items that I take with me motorcycle camping that I never leave behind. Now, I personally have a whole different packing method based on the kind of camping that I'm going to be doing, meaning if I'm going on a longer weekend event, I'll try to take a few more items with me to have smaller luxuries, or if I'm just going for an easy one-nighter camping, I might pack a little bit lighter. But usually, no matter what, every kind of camp out that I go to, I always have these items with me. So let's dive in. Now, this first item is probably very specific to me personally because I am a YouTuber. I do like to document my experiences and film my camping trips. So the first thing I always bring with me is a battery backup. I got this little guy on Amazon. I think it was like $18 and it has a couple USB ports and a micro USB-C port, as well as like a little flashlight. I don't really remember how to turn it on, but this thing has done great keeping my batteries charged or charging up some GoPro batteries, stuff like that. So I always have that with me because sometimes you're out in these campsites that don't have any electricity or you've been on the road for a long time, and just always like to have my bases covered. So battery backups and jump packs are something that I usually never go camping without. Now, if you're new to the channel, you probably don't know these things, but I always bring one thing when I go motorcycle camping with me, and I say it in every single camping video, so of course I had to add it to the list. Even if I'm not having a fire, I always bring fire starters. There you go. So I usually buy these from Walmart. I think it's like $5 for an entire pack, and it comes pretty full. Woo! So it's these little tiny bricks, and all you do is light the paper ignites and is flammable, and it'll give you a nice even burn for about 5 minutes. These things really saved our butts when we were motorcycle camping in the West Virginia mountains in the pouring rain. We had a heck of a time getting the campfire started that night, and I think I went through probably 5 or 6 of these just trying to get it lit, but we finally got it lit. I always have fire starters with me. And then in return, I always have a lighter. Now this next item is personal preference as well, but this is one thing I usually never go camping without, and that is either earplugs or AirPods. And I specifically pick these AirPods because they are the, what's it called? Noise reduction, noise canceling. Words, Jess. So I always bring my AirPods with me, and sometimes I'll download like audiobooks or download videos or documentaries on like Amazon Prime. And if I can't sleep, I usually just lay in my tent and like maybe watch a documentary or something, and that stuff typically works better than Ambien. I am a very light sleeper. I typically don't like not sleeping without earplugs when I go camping because I can hear, you know, the animals rustling in the night, or I can hear the crickets or the wind cracking the trees, and like every single little noise wakes me up. Some can compare and contrast that could be a potential safety issue, especially camping by yourself. But I know when I'm going camping in a big group of people or at an event, I just want to sleep, and so I'll bring my noise canceling earplugs. This next item is total personal preference, but I usually never go camping without some kind of lighting. That could be headlamps, lanterns, party lamps, stuff like that. So I have 2 examples here. These are the little battery operated party lamps I bought on Amazon. So there's this little battery here, and I'll turn them on, but yeah, it's too bright in here, you can't see them. But basically they have multiple different settings. They do a nice little flutter, flicker, they stay solid, or they flash. So I like putting these around my tent in my campsite, and you can see here, it just kind of brings a more welcome, fun environment to the campsite. Or like I've stated before, let's say you're at a big fun camp out, have a little too much to drink, have to get up and pee in the middle of the night, and then you can't find your way back to camp. I like to string my lights so I know where my tent is and it's easy to find my way back. And then I also have this little collapsible lantern. So I usually hang this up in my tent, has like a little carabiner thing, and then it turns on and it actually lasts forever. I've never changed the battery in this thing. I got this from Motocamping, and some of these things you can actually buy at a discounted rate with my coupon code, which is linked in the description for Motocamping. So this is really fun. It's soft and it collapses, so it's easy to pack. And then when you turn the light off, this little white silicone area glows in the dark, so you still get a soft glow. I love this lantern. It's been a wonderful upgrade and I've used it every single time I go camping. Don't forget, throughout the entire month of February, while we are talking about motorcycle camping, I will answer three of my subscriber. I will answer three of my subscriber questions at the end of every single video. So stay tuned towards the end of this video to see what those questions are. Yeah. You shouldn't be surprised by the last item on this list, but the one item that I never go camping without is my all-in-one Stanley French press coffee maker. So the reason I like this specifically is because it's big, it holds a lot of water. You can boil or cook in the pot by itself, but it also comes with a French press. So this is like the big French press, and then on the inside, you get your cup. So I usually keep my coffee, which the coffee I typically drink when I go camping. I'll mix it up sometimes. Sometimes if I'm using instant coffee, this is like the Death Wish single serve pour over, which I've used in my videos before. I love this stuff. You don't need the French press, but sometimes I'll grind my own coffee and put the coffee grounds in here and use the French press. And I like it because it kind of serves a lot. I lost the lid. So of course, no surprise, for two wheels, the number one thing you don't go camping without is some way to make coffee. I also believe you can buy this with 10% off using my custom code from Motocamping. If you are interested in any of these items, I will have them linked down in the description. These are just my top 5. I actually have a ton of motorcycle camping accessories that I always take with me. So that was super fast and easy, and those are just a couple of the items that I enjoy that kind of help make camping a little bit more comfortable. Or a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I should say. Now, if you want to know about some specific camping accessories, like actual camping accessories that I never go without, that usually has to do with a specific kind of sleeping bag or sleeping pad or pillow. And sometimes I always have something like a handsaw or my little hatchet, and I bring those with me in case I run into something that might be a little difficult at a campground. So there are a million camping accessories I actually take camping with me, and hopefully you'll get to see more of those in the coming camping videos. I just wanted to keep this short and sweet. Now let's get into the subscriber questions. The first question comes from Riding with Sager, I believe. And it says, I look forward to catching the motorcycle camping videos. I wish I had more time to do some of that myself. When you do go, what do you think works better? Tent or hammock setups? Stay safe and keep the shiny side up. So I have made a video about this before, actually. I do camp both ways. I have camped in tents and I have camped in hammocks. I personally kind of enjoy sleeping in hammocks a bit more, but to be completely honest with you, the answer is I prefer tent camping. And that is simply because I feel like, and this is gonna be a very millennial thing of me to say, I feel like I have a safe space. I feel like I have an enclosed area where I can keep all of my items out of visibility from other campers. And when you go motorcycle camping, you really are exposed to the elements more than you would be in a car. So when you have to set up your campsite, you still have all of your luggage and bags and the things that you carried your camping items with. When you have a tent, I like to go a little bit bigger. I like to camp in no smaller than a 3-person tent, just specifically so I can have space to put my luggage and my bags. Sometimes when I set up my campsite, I have to hop back on the bike, ride into town, go buy some firewood or go buy some food. So I do leave my gear exposed at the campground sometimes. So having that tent just helps double as visual safety and hopefully prevents people from just walking up and snatching anything I may have. But it also gives me a comfortable space where I can retreat and be myself and get out of the elements. So I personally think tent camping is better. It's just my preferred method. I do know tons of people that go motorcycle camping in hammocks because of the packability. Hammock camping can be some of the most convenient ways to just quickly throw up a hammock and enjoy. I have run into issues where I go to campgrounds and it's like not ideal hammock camping. So that's the unfortunate thing. Tent, there's usually always gonna be some ground. It might not always be the flattest ground, but hammocks, you might not always get trees. So that's my answer. This next question was submitted by, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, it is, I believe, Frank Wegeman. It says, how was your first camping trip going? Like, mine was with a tent and a backpack and an inflatable mattress and sleeping bag. Nothing much, but it was just one night camp at a motorcycle meet. But I loved it and I would have loved many more. So how did you start out? Did you already go with a lot of gear or just the bare minimum? Now, the very first time I got the itch to go motorcycle camping was way before I started my YouTube channel. I had a girlfriend that I used to ride with all the time, and her and I just randomly got the bright idea that we should try motorcycle camping. Pack everything you need on your motorcycle and just go. So the very first time we decided to do this, I did tons of research and I felt pretty prepared. What I was not prepared for is just how awkward campsites can be in Ohio, especially if you are not an RV camper. So when I booked our site, we booked an RV site, which is mostly just parking space. It's like a tarmac. And then the little patch of grass that we had was like on a hill. So I wasn't prepared when it came to what to look for in campsites. I did have a big tent. I carried a large 5-person tent, and my girlfriend and I both stayed in that tent, and we brought essentially the bare minimum. I had a portable packing chair that I borrowed from a friend, and it was still honestly too big. I didn't like it. And then I had my little tiny air mattress pad that I thought was gonna be so convenient, and it was just as bad as sleeping on the ground. I don't even remember what sleeping bag I had, but that was about it. We had a tent, a chair, a mattress, and a sleeping bag. And honestly, it was one of the most fun camping trips I'd ever had. It was the very first time I went camping off of the motorcycle, and it taught me a ton. Oh, it just dawned on me the reason why we went camping. That was the very first year I was planning on going to Babes Ride Out. So we went and did like a Babes Ride Out dry run camping setup, and yeah. I learned a lot from that experience. And the third and final question is from Sean Wigan. It says, do you prefer group moto camping or solo? I hate to be that person. I'm not gonna give you a straightforward answer, but it's a little bit of both. If I'm filming and if I want to document the experience, I usually camp solo because I enjoy my time with you guys, the viewers. I enjoy documenting how I cook, how I set up, and it's just kind of liberating to do that on your own, in your own time, and not have to worry about someone talking or interrupting or just like delaying the creative flow, I guess you could say. Now, if I'm going to an event and I'm filming, obviously that like filming the event is the goal, not the camping, it's the event. But if I'm not filming and I just want to go camping and have fun, yes, I love going in a group. I love having my friends. Just, you know, taking pictures and having fun, like that's my favorite thing. So I will always rather prefer to go camping with friends because it's like a fun little retreat. But usually I like to go alone because it allows me to have that creative freedom to film and record. Now, obviously you guys know that I love to do more bougie style camping. So I'm really curious to hear what kind of camping gear you never go camping without, if you go camping at all. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. On to the next here in Moto Camping February. I hope you enjoyed this, and until my next video, you be good. I will see you later.